My kids were not being difficult to make life hard for me. They were being difficult when things got difficult for them. That was such a good awareness, and it began to shift everything for her. Welcome to the Connect Method Parenting Podcast, where correction is out, connection is in, and your kids want to listen to you. I'm Andy Martineau, creator of Connect Method Parenting, here to help you stay calm, confident, and connected no matter what. Hey, everybody. We're going to start today's episode with a little story. It was the summer of 2018, and it was, I believe, day 2, maybe day 3 in a new house for us. It was blistering hot because we lived in Gilbert, which is in the Phoenix metro area, so over 100 degrees outside, and the kids had a lot of energy, a lot of excitement over the move, and they really couldn't get their energy outside, which is the best place, especially for my top 4. 3 are boys. I have 1 girl, she's my second, and then 2 at the end. But they were younger then and lots of energy, couldn't really stay outside, way too hot. We didn't have a pool. The moving boxes were still in the hallway, and I hadn't even figured out where to put the silverware yet. That's how soon we were in, or how fresh the house was for us. And my boys, bless them, decided it was the perfect time for a blanket ride. You know, the one where the kids sit on the blanket and the other kids pull them across the hardwood floor like human slingshots. Yeah, it was all fun and giggles until they had this really sharp turn and it had too much momentum and one of them crashed straight through the drywall. And I'm talking full torso, half body hole in the kitchen wall. This was before we even had figured out our Wi-Fi password. And you know what bubbled up in me? Not concern, not curiosity. I would hope that would bubble up now. But no, I could feel myself getting really frustrated. I was overwhelmed. We had lots of things to do with the move. And I could feel just the irritation and the, what are you guys doing, annoyance come up. I could feel myself about to snap. But something stopped me. And all I can say is, hallafreakingluia. It's a made-up word that I was able to pause and able to stop myself from going into default mode. That default mode that I had been using for the first 8 to 10 years of my parenting adventure. My journey was not something I was proud of necessarily as I reflect back on what I was like back then. I was overwhelmed. I had 6 kids in 8 years. So it was a lot. But I had been practicing at this point, and I was doing a better job at interrupting this pattern, because what happens in that split second between the incident and your response, that's where everything shifts. If you've ever felt like you're one broken lamp away, or one, "Mom, I'm so bored," or one tantrum or meltdown or eye roll away from losing your mind, then this podcast is the right place to be. And today specifically, we're talking about summer. It's right around the corner if you're listening to this live as I'm releasing it. And I have been talking with moms who are feeling anxious and nervous about this season when their kids are going to be home a lot, routines are going to be off. And why is summer? Why is this season so much more likely to trigger your inner yell, frustration, grouchy monster? And we know it's because it's different. Our kids are a little off kilter. We're a little off kilter. And today I want to talk about how to plan for a summer that you and your kids are going to want to remember, and that you're not going to want it to end. You know, a summer that you remember and want to last forever. And I've got a solution that's going to change everything. So let's dive in. Let's do it. So summer is emotionally expensive. For so many of us, it comes at a great cost. There's a lot of deficit in our emotional relationships with our kids. It costs more energy, more patience, more flexibility than we're often ready to give. And if we're not ready for that, then it withdraws and damages and interrupts those good connections that we so desperately want to have, the ones that we dreamed about when we were thinking about being a parent. And I will say that most of us, if not all of us, I've never met someone who doesn't walk in with good intentions to summer. But without a plan, it's hard to create what your heart desires. Because when you combine unstructured days, bickering siblings, snack-related emergencies, the clutter that comes with just having everyone home all of the time, the lack of routine, you end up defaulting to behavior you swore. You swore, I'm going to leave that behind. I'm not going to do that anymore. But it's not because you don't want to leave it behind. It's because you don't have a plan. Not because you're doing it wrong. It's because you're overloaded. You're maxed out. You're beyond your capacity. And you don't need more willpower. You need a framework. And as a mom of 6 who was falling apart, was yelling, I would say I'm a reformed yeller, who ended up creating Connect Method Parenting after a desperate search and hunt to try to figure out how to parent without using punitive measures, without you having to give more consequences or create better bribes. I didn't want any of that. I wanted to do it in a way that felt good, that felt sustainable. And I ended up finding the science and the research to back up what my heart was really wanting, which I needed that science and research because as a sciencey person going to nursing school, I liked the data. And I needed to have the data to back it up so I would feel confident. And then I needed to know how you actually change the neural pathways once you learn this new way of thinking after being in a certain parenting mode and thinking parenting was a certain way. You have to figure out how to switch your brain. So I used to think that parenting success was about better rules. It was about better consequences. It was about better schedules. It was about me waking up on time. It was about getting my kids to behave better and wake up on the right side of the bed. But it turns out it's all about connection. It's all about relationship. It's all about our fundamental human need as all humans to be connected and in safe relationships with those we depend on as kids, to those we choose to depend on as adults. Our need for togetherness is where it all starts. That is our most primary need, more important than all the survival, quote unquote, survival things we think we need, food, shelter, water. Connection I was going to say predates it. That's not the right word. It comes before that. It comes before that. And I figured out some things along the way that I've now taught parents because it worked for me. It was science-based, put it together in a framework that I call Connect Method Parenting, which is why this podcast is called that. My book is called that. And everything is called that. And I love it. And I'm going to package it up and help you create the most amazing summer. And I'm just going to share a couple of things that other people have said about using this framework and having it set them on a totally different path. So a client I worked with that I adore said that working with Andy has been the most freeing work I've ever done. She's taken every parenting book I've read and created a program with simple steps and tools that are fun and doable, and it works. And I loved reading that, not because I'm anything special. I'm not. I just put together the things that work into a manageable and doable system. And that's what we're going to do in a unique way in something I'm going to tell you in just a minute, but in this summer plan that I want to lay out for you. And then I have a friend who I've worked with as she's a client and a friend, and I just admire her so much. She has 10 kids, and she said, this seriously has changed my heart and brain. I can't imagine where I'd be without it. So worth it. That means a lot to me to hear people say that. And I hear this a lot, and this is what I want for you too. And I had another parent who has worked with me on learning and implementing Connect Method Parenting say, my kids were not being difficult to make life hard for me. They were being difficult when things got difficult for them. That was such a good awareness, and it began to shift everything for her. So as I was thinking about the school year ending and what I wanted to offer and what I wanted to help people create, it led me to create the No Yell Summer Workshop because I wanted to take all of the essentials of Connect Method Parenting and put them through the laser focus of summer to apply them to a time where we have so much time with our kids so that you could have this kind of shift right when you need it most. So who's this workshop for? It's for any parent who wants to stop reacting and start responding, who's tired of using consequences and bribes and feeling like they are a behavior manager and wants to have their kids want to listen to them. It's for parents who don't love the relationship they're having with their kids right now and they want something better. Someone who wants more fun, wants more peace, wants to be more present. And it's for anyone and everyone who wants to make this a summer that their kids remember for all the right reasons. fondly remember it. And for you to come to the end of summer and think, man, this was so amazing. And I could even do this for longer. I'm kind of sad it's ending. And if that's you, I want you in this workshop. It's happening on May 28th at noon Eastern time. You get the replay if you can't come live. So no problem if you have something else going on at that exact moment. There's also a workbook that's included. And if you're a member of League, you're already in. It's included. So if you're listening to this and you're in CMP Mastery, or if you're in Pivot, but you're part of League, you're in. It's going to be amazing. So what does this look like is it's on the 28th of May, 2025, and 90 minutes. We're going to do a creation process like you have never done. It's an implementation, or really it's a creation of your summer plan. And then if you want to continue with us, if you're in League, this of course is going to be something we're doing together, or you can come and join us as well if you want to just be a part of this summer, no yell summer implementation experience. We're going to do that afterwards for 10 weeks to make sure you not only build your plan in the 90-minute workshop, but you live it. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait to do this. It's something I've been dreaming up for a few months. I can't wait to have so many people create a summer that they are looking forward to, that they are learning and growing and creating what they want. So here's what you'll learn in the No Yell Summer workshop. One, you're going to understand why you yell. And if you're not a yeller, that's a word I'm using to encompass the frustration, the irritation, anything like that, any negative emotion you're having. Even if you don't yell, maybe you withdraw. Same thing when you're disconnecting, whether it's because you yelled, because you just turned off, went numb, disconnected, maybe you did a little passive aggressive stuff. Whatever it is, you're going to understand why you're doing it. We're going to break down your flashpoints and your triggers, what sets you off and why. And we're going to help you so that the next time you feel that frustration or yell bubbling up, we're going to help you know what to do so that you can create just enough space between that stimulus and response to choose something better. The second thing we're going to do is you're going to set 3 summer goals. You're going to set an emotional goal, a relational goal, and a recovery goal. And these are the anchors that are going to keep you grounded when the popsicles melt into the carpet, or the kids refuse to put on sunscreen, or they bust a hole in your kitchen wall, whatever it is. You're going to have these goals, and they're going to keep you focused and intentional so that you love how you show up. Even if you have to set a hard limit, even if you have to say no to something, even if something happens that your brain thinks is worst case scenario. Third, you're going to choose your summer parenting identity. I'm going to explain what this is. It's super fun, but this identity is going to become your emotional anchor and your intentional default. So fun. And then the fourth thing we're going to match your emotional capacity to your parenting identity. So we're going to name the emotional muscle you need to build and to live out the identity. Things like tolerance, patience, wonder. I just did a podcast on the 8 emotional capacities you need to have as a parent. You can go listen to that to get ready for the No Yell Summer. But we're going to create an awareness around an emotional capacity that you want to lean into and use all of the experiences that come up over the summer to build that. 5, you're going to build a 3-pronged CMP plan, which is built around the 3 CMP strategies. You're going to look at understanding your own nervous system, your own mind better. You're going to learn how to consistently connect or ways to do that and come up with a plan and a goal for that. And then you're going to have a go-to repair roadmap. Now, let's make this really real. Right now, unless you're driving, ignore me if you're driving or doing something that you need to open your eyes. But if you're able to close your eyes for just a second. I want you to picture your child having a meltdown or a bad attitude, whatever age your kids are. Pick the thing that they do that gets you a little bit activated. And now I want you to picture yourself responding in a connected way with a compassion and a confidence about you that allows you to help them feel safe, but also navigate it well. You're not reacting. You pause, maybe you take a deep breath, you kneel down beside them, you create a working relationship, you say what needs to be said, not what your stress is screaming you to say. That version of you, she's already inside of you. And the workshop is going to bring her out in full force so that you can create the most amazing summer of your life. Now, if you want to message me If you want to send me an email or DM me on Instagram at Connect Method Parenting and tell me what your biggest summer challenge is, I would love to hear that. I'll be responding to as many as I can on future episodes as I'm preparing my episodes for the summer. If you have a question about something specifically around summer, let me know so that I can address it and give you some things to think about. And then come to the No Yell Summer Workshop and we will definitely get to work on that. After this 90-minute workshop, the No Yell Summer Workshop, you'll know exactly what to do in your 3 biggest parenting flashpoints, challenges that you're going to identify. You're going to have a plan for connection before correction. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more calm. You're going to feel more in control. Even when your kids aren't confident, calm, or control, you're going to be able to have that steady presence. And if you register soon, because the registration is now up, because it's happening just in a couple of weeks, if you register in the next 48 hours from when you hear this podcast episode, I'll send you a secret resource I've never shared publicly before. It's one of my favorite tools for calming chaos. So you'll get that. So here are the details. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, yes, I think I would really love to do that. Go to CMP, which stands for Connect Method Parenting, cmp.works, because Connect Method Parenting works. And yes, that is another form of an ending of a website. Instead of .com, it's .works. So cmp.works, and I'll put this in the show notes too, /summer, and grab your $7 seat. That's all it is right now. It might go up, but if you're listening to it around the time it's going live, it's only $7 because I want to make this accessible for everyone. $7 for 90 minutes to create your summer plan. And then you'll just come and join me on May 28th at noon Eastern time. Hopefully you can come live, but if you can't, we will have a replay and you're going to make this the best summer ever. My goal for you isn't that you get it perfect. It's not that you never mess up. It's that you connect more. And that you build relationships that you actually want to have with your kids. And that when things get tricky and chaotic this summer, because they will, that you respond in a way that you are so proud of. And that, my friends, is the summer worth remembering that you will create if you come to the No Yell Summer Workshop. I believe you've got what it takes. You just need the tools, you need the support, you need the space to grow, and you need the plan. And that's what I'll give you inside No Yell Summer. Inside this 90-minute workshop, you're going to get all of that. So join me. I'll see you there. And remember, according to the latest developments in science, if you want your kids to want to listen to you, it's all about connection. It's all about togetherness. It's all about attachment and relationships. And that is what we're focusing in on. That's what I'm going to help you learn how to do. It's not about being passive. It's about actually being very intentional and very assertive and very compassionate and very alpha. We'll go over all of it. So join me on the 28th to get one step closer to creating this calm, connected summer that I know you want. I'll put the link again in the show notes, but just in case you want to write it down, it's cmp.works/summer to get all of the details to reserve your spot today. And I want you to know that when you commit to join me on May 28th, you commit to showing up for your kids this summer, and you're committing to create an intentional summer that will be unlike any others. Because at the end of the summer, this is what I want you thinking. I want you thinking, I'm so sad the summer's ending. I want you thinking that was so incredible. And we created memories and relationships and fun that I will treasure forever. I want you feeling that instead of collapsing with relief it's over. Oh, and this workshop is going to be even more fun if you would do it with a friend. So share this episode or the info page about the No Yell Summer Workshop with your friends, your parenting friends, and come join me and make this your best summer yet. All right, you guys, we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for listening, you all. If you are ready to learn more about Connect Method Parenting, if you've been listening to the podcast and you think, ooh, I'd love to be able to implement this in my life and with my parenting more, then check out Pivot. It's my 8-week program where we deep dive into learning and implementing Connect Method Parenting so that you can take this information and transform your parenting journey. Head over to connectmethodparenting.com to find out when the next group starts.